Hey guys, what's going on? This is Casey from rwdcoupe.com. Just wanted to demonstrate our new Forge blow-off valve. This video will demonstrate just a simple how to install the product on the Genesis Coupe 2.0. Let me put the valve down real quick. Alright, first step for us is open up your hood. We want to make a little bit clearance to get down to the stock valve. The silencer piece here on the stock intake, it's kind of in the way of the valve, so what I did is I just loosened this up here, Phillips head screwdriver, pried this guy out, set that aside till later. Some of you with intakes won't even have this whole setup anyway, so you won't even need it. Next step is we're going to look down here to our factory blow-off valve location, our factory diverter valve, whatever they would call it. There is a little scissor kind of clamp that's holding the stock tubing onto the valve. Just take a needle nose pliers, go down in, pinch the clip, and pull it up. That should loosen the hose here. As you can see, I already pinched it and lifted it up. Next, it might be a little tight, but just kind of wiggle your way. Don't pull it too hard, but gradually back it out, and you'll notice there that's the stock hose. When you disconnect it, you might hear a little air coming out of the valve, so don't be alarmed. Next thing we're going to do is a 10mm wrench set. There are 3 bolts on the stock valve. We're going to go ahead and remove those, and this valve should come right off. Alright guys, just got the 3 bolts out of the stock valve. Once you get those 3 threaded bolts out, comes off, pull it out. This is the stock valve, as you can see. Stock diaphragm pieces, it's real soft, it's plastic, you know, as you can hear. It's kind of like a tin or aluminum piece. We're going to look up next versus this all-new Forge one. This thing is solid. I mean, you could feel the difference like night and day. This is the blow-off valve. Here's the difference in the actual seals. The valve comes pre-installed with the spring. It's good for stock boost. If you wanted to go with a stiffer spring, Forge also provided 2 stiffer springs for more boost. So, essentially, to install it, as you can see, it's a direct bolt-on, same exact hole pattern. You want to line it up the same way that it came in. And then Forge also provided a 3-pack of longer screws to hold this new valve in, since it actually is a bit thicker, as you can see. So what you do next is just line it up where your stock valve was, bolt in these 3 bolts. Looks like they use a hex type head, so you might need a different tool there. I'll let you know after I get it installed what tool I used, okay? Alright guys, as you can see, we have the new Forge blow-off valve in position. Everything was reattached with Forge's new hardware. The bolts on this hardware are in the same exact factory locations. The depth of the screws is actually longer, but as you can see here, go ahead and get a zoom up. The new bolt there actually extends through the back of that piece, but Hyundai was cool and they cut it out just in case, I guess, somebody wanted to use longer bolts. The tool that I used to heads in there is actually a 3/16 hex type head. Due to all the clutter here, as you can see, we kept all the factory intake, piping, everything is in its original position. Due to the odd angle of the bolts, I went ahead and got an extension piece here for my socket. So essentially, attach it to your socket, insert the hex piece that you need, and you can get any angle you need, really. You know, we went down under this pipe for that bottom bolt, and as you twist, the hex piece twists as well. So if you don't have one of these type of tools, I'd highly recommend it for this installation. It makes it a lot easier. As you can see, this was before I got the right tool, so you'll save your knuckles if you do it the right way and just go out and get a tool that'll do the right job. The final step for us here is going to be to reattach the factory hose to the nipple of the new forge blow-off valve. Just kind of get down in the, like we said, there's not a whole lot of clearance here, but you want to get down, take that hose, and attach it. Oh, jeez. Alright guys, just finished getting the hose back on. One issue I ran into that you might want to do when you do it to save you some time is, once the blow-off valve was installed, it's kind of dark now, hard to see. Once it was installed, getting the stock hose back into it was difficult from that angle, and with the slack amount that you have, it's easier to reattach the hose to the new forge blow-off valve, tighten it all up, and then bolt it back into its location. That way, once it's bolted in, you're not struggling to get the hose in and all that. Once you finish all that, just put your airbox, close it all up, and you should be good to go and crank it up. So I'll have Lindsay go ahead and crank it up now. Okay, there you have it. It stays closed under idle, and then once you get up there, it will vent and blow off your excess pressure. So once again, thank you to Forge Motorsports for helping us out with our Genesis Coupe 2.0, and please check out our site at rwdcoupe.com.